evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate received 6 Yemeni citizens released from Guantanamo considering the humanitarian grounds. The direct impact of tropical depression ends, but chances of rains on the governorates of South Sharqiya, Al-Wusta and Hajar mountains continue. The Ministry of Education continues examinations of General Diploma and its equivalent from tomorrow according to fixed timetable number 1. And the National Ferries Company resumes its cruise services for free on Shanna Masira route after delaying due to the tropical depression. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. Upon royal directives of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, 6 Yemeni citizens arrived in the Sultanate today who are released from Guantanamo prison to reside temporarily. An official source said in a statement to Oman News Agency that this step came in response to the American government's demand to assist in the settlement of the case of detainees in this prison and in consideration of their human conditions. The Ministry of Interior announced that election committees in the wilayas will announce tomorrow, Sunday, the primary lists of candidates for Shura Council membership for the 8th period by exhibiting them in prominent places at Wali's offices. The statement clarified that lists can be reviewed also in election websites, local newspapers and social media networks. The ministry also said there is a period of time for objections on names listed during 5 days from the start of its announcement, with clarified reasons of objections according to Article 38 of Shura election membership law, as the committee will issue its decision on the objection within 10 days from the second day of the period mentioned during the previous term. Statement issued by the National Committee for Civil Defence reads as follows. Reference to a statement issued by the Public Authority for Civil Defence on the dissipation of the tropical system and with the end of direct impacts of this weather condition. National Committee for Civil Defence announced the end of the preparedness condition of the subcommittees for civil defence in the governorates. As it announced the end of the preparedness condition, the committee praised the efforts of the national system for emergency cases management, represented in subcommittees of civil defence, surveillance, early warning and centres and sectors of Sultan's armed forces, government bodies, private sector establishments and individuals for their good efforts exerted in providing support and assistance to deal with the tropical condition. The committee also commended the response of citizens and residents in adhering to instructions and advice issued by the concerned bodies. Issue that was of great impact on limiting the effects of the condition as no human losses occur, thanks to Allah, praying to Almighty to safeguard Oman, its Sultan, people and residents, and bestow upon it His graces. The Internal Committee of Managing Exceptional Weather Systems has held a meeting chaired by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Nasser Al-Zaabi, CEO of the Public Authority for Civil Aviation, and discussed the latest development and analysis of the tropical system Ashuba. The committee ended up with the discussion of dissipation of the direct impacts of the tropical depression over the Sultanate. The Ministry of Education announced the continuity of examinations according to the fixed timetable number 1, which was issued last Wednesday. The social studies examination for the General Diploma students will be held tomorrow. The ministry said in a statement that this process came after the ending of the tropical system and all situations related to the readiness of the examination centres in the governorates of Muscat and South Sharqiya. The ministry urges all male and female students on the importance of checking the examination timetable number 1 on e-website of the Sultanate of Oman Educational Gate and Examination Centre. The Ministry of Health announced the reopening from tomorrow, Sunday, a number of health institutions, including Al-Nahda Hospital for patients, after ending of the tropical system. The ministry stressed in a statement that the closing decision came as a precautionary measure to ensure the safety of patients and health workers. National Ferries Company announced the resumption of its voyages on Shanna-Masira route today. The company mentioned that the two ferries, Shanna and Jawharat-Masira, will start their journeys after it was delayed due to the tropical condition that the Sultanate witnessed. It also will transfer passengers and vehicles to and fro Masira Island for free until further notice, as a good gesture from the company. Units from Masira Air Base, in cooperation with the engineering services of the Ministry of Defence, cleared the water pools that gathered at Al-Mundisa village in the Walaya of Masira that witnessed heavy rains due to the tropical depression. The supporting units of Masira Air Base has facilitated the traffic movement through opening paths to drain water. Skies in the Niyaba of Ras Al Had also returned to stability after the end of the impact of the tropical depression. The Niyaba recorded an accumulative average of rain that amounted to 46 millimeters since the start of the tropical system. The wind speed weakened and the wave height decreased gradually, opening the door for citizens to venture out to sea. Many villages in the Niyaba did not witness any damages. Efforts were exerted by concerned bodies to clean up the debris caused by the adverse weather condition. In the Walaya of Sur, in the Governorate of South Sharqiya, damaged roads caused by the overflow of wadis were reopened after the end of the tropical system, which caused heavy rains in the Walaya. Joint efforts are being exerted by concerned bodies to deal with the effects of the adverse weather conditions, with the participation of volunteers from various parts of the Sultanate. Material damages were caused by tropical system Ashuba in houses in some districts of the Walaya. These areas are always prone to adverse weather conditions due to its location at the Wadi stream. The Walaya of Wadi Bani Khalid in the Governorate of North Sharqiya witnessed intermittent rain, which led to the overflowing of a number of wadis like Wadi Buad. With the dissipation of the tropical system, the concerned bodies started the repair works and reopening of roads in several affected villages. In the Walaya of Dama wa Ta'in in the Governorate of North Sharqiya, the work started for the reopening of Eastern Wadi Road. Life returned to normal as citizens of the Walaya thronged to Wadi areas to enjoy the beauty of nature under the shadow of date palm trees and waterfalls. The Governorate of Worcester was affected by the indirect impact of the tropical condition the Sultanate witnessed, which led to intermittent rains on the Walaya of Mahout. A number of wadis and its tributaries overflew on the Walaya due to the rain. The Governorate of Muscat was affected by the indirect impact of the tropical condition as it rained heavily in the Walaya of Qorayat for many hours. The Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources discharged Unqal Rubakh Dam. No accidents, roadblocks and power cut was recorded in the Walaya. "112 people were rescued from several areas in the wilayas of Sur and Masira in cooperation with crew of Public Authority for Civil Defence and Ambulance in the Governorate of South Sharqiya. Here are some scenes of the rescue efforts. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate received 6 Yemeni citizens released from Guantanamo considering the humanitarian grounds. The direct impact of tropical depression ends, but chances of rains on the governorates of South Sharqiya, Al-Wusta and Hajar Mountains continue. The Ministry of Education continues examinations of General Diploma and its equivalent from tomorrow according to fixed timetable number 1. And the National Ferries Company resumes its cruise services for free on Shanna Masira route after delaying due to the tropical depression. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.